Hi everyone, I'm Izzy, a California realtor. Today I'm discussing a very important topic many sellers overlook, which is seller disclosure obligations. This isn't optional, this is legally required. California has the strictest disclosure laws in the entire United States. If you don't disclose correctly, the consequences can be very serious. Buyers can sue you for damages, cancel the transaction and recover the purchase price. Even in some cases you might have to compensate the entire property value. I've seen sellers get sued for not disclosing what seemed like a small issue and end up paying $75,000. So today I'll explain in detail what California law requires you to disclose, when to disclose, how to disclose, and consequences of non-disclosure. This video could save you tens of thousands of dollars and lots of legal trouble. I'll cover TDS Transfer Disclosure Statement, NHD Natural Hazard Disclosure, Lead Paint Disclosure, Death Disclosure, and other important disclosure obligations. Let's begin. First, let me explain what TDS is, Transfer Disclosure Statement. This is one of the most important disclosure documents required by California law. According to California Civil Code Sections 1102 to 1102.17, all sellers of residential property containing 1 to 4 units must complete the TDS form. This requirement applies to almost all residential sales, even as-is sales must be filled out. The TDS form has 3 pages, contains many checkboxes and questions, covering all aspects of the home. An important point is sellers must personally complete TDS, agents cannot fill it out for sellers. Why? Because this is the seller's personal knowledge statement about the property's condition. TDS contains 3 main sections. Section 1 is filled out by seller, listing other reports you might have, like inspection reports, pest reports, geological reports. Section 2 is a huge checklist describing property features, like whether there's a pool, hot tub, dishwasher, garbage disposal, etc. Then lists all major systems conditions, like roof, foundation, walls, floors, electrical, plumbing, HVAC. Section 3 is filled out by agent for visual inspection disclosure. TDS requires you to disclose all material facts you know that affect the property's value or desirability. What are material facts? Any information that would influence the buyer's decision whether to purchase or how much to pay. You don't need to disclose every little scratch or small issue, but you must disclose material defects. Like roof leaks, foundation cracks, plumbing problems, electrical shorts, these are material and must be disclosed. Even if you've already fixed the problem, you should still disclose there was a problem. Why? Because buyers have the right to know the property's history. TDS also requires disclosing environmental hazards, including asbestos, radon gas, lead paint, formaldehyde, fuel or chemical storage tanks, contaminated soil or water. If you know these problems exist, must disclose. TDS also asks about home additions or remodels. If you've done additions, you need to disclose whether there were permits. Unpermitted additions are a big issue because they may affect insurability and value. TDS also asks about neighborhood noise problems, neighbor disputes, anything affecting living comfort. Remember, even if you think an issue isn't important, if buyers might care, you should disclose. The second important disclosure is NHD, Natural Hazard Disclosure. This is California's unique requirement. California is the only state in the entire United States requiring NHD reports. According to California's Civil Code Section 1103, sellers must disclose whether the property is located in any of 6 designated hazard zones. These 6 zones are: first, Special Flood Hazard Area; second, Dam Inundation Zone; third, Very High Fire Hazard Severity Zone; fourth, Wildland Fire Area; fifth, Earthquake Fault Zone; sixth, Seismic Hazard Zone, including liquefaction and landslide risks. NHD reports are typically prepared by third-party companies, costing about $50 to $150. Sellers order the report, then provide it to buyers. Why is NHD so important? Because California has many natural disaster risks, buyers have the right to know if the house they're buying is in a high-risk area. This affects insurance costs, also affects the property's long-term value and safety. Incomplete NHD could lead to damages as high as the entire property value, which is much more serious than TDS consequences. The third important disclosure is lead paint disclosure. This isn't California specific, this is federal law. If your home was built before 1978, you must disclose to buyers potential lead-based paint hazards. This requirement comes from federal law, applies to the entire United States. Why 1978? Because the U.S. banned lead paint for residential use in 1978. Homes built before then likely contain lead paint. Lead paint poses serious health hazards, especially to young children. You must do 3 things. First, tell buyers whether you know of lead paint or lead hazards in the home. Second, provide buyers with an EPA-approved pamphlet called Protect Your Family from Lead in Your Home. Third, give buyers 10 days to conduct lead paint inspection if they want to. This disclosure is a separate section in the purchase agreement both buyers and sellers must sign to acknowledge. Even if you don't know whether the home has lead paint, you must still provide this disclosure and pamphlet. Not providing lead paint disclosure leads to federal fines. Buyers can also sue. So if your house was built before 1978, definitely complete this disclosure. Now let me discuss a disclosure many sellers don't know about or feel uncomfortable with, which is death disclosure. According to California's Civil Code Section 1710.2, if someone died on your property, you must disclose in certain situations. The rule is this: if death occurred in the past 3 years, regardless of cause of death, natural death, accident, suicide, or homicide, you must disclose. This 3 years counts backward from the date buyers make an offer. If death occurred more than 3 years ago, you don't need to voluntarily disclose, but if buyers directly ask whether anyone died on the property, you must answer honestly, cannot lie. There's one exception: if death was due to AIDS-related complications, you cannot disclose because this is considered disability discrimination. Death disclosure has a specific question on the TDS form, also on the seller property questionnaire. Many sellers ask me, why disclose natural death? This isn't a physical defect of the property. Indeed, it's not a physical defect, but law considers this a material fact that might influence buyer decision. Some buyers, for superstitious or personal reasons, don't want to live in a house where someone died. Law gives them the right to know. Besides TDS, NHD, lead paint, and death disclosure, there are other important disclosures. First, if your property is in an HOA community, you must disclose HOA rules, fees, and any special assessments. Buyers need to know monthly or annual HOA fees and what restrictions exist, like can't have certain pets or can't paint house certain colors. Second, if your property is in a Mello-Roos district, you must disclose. Mello-Roos is a special tax financing infrastructure and public services. Buyers need to know about this additional tax burden. Third, smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. California law requires sellers to certify the home complies with smoke detector requirements. Usually needs smoke detectors outside each sleeping area and on each floor. Carbon monoxide detectors are also required. Fourth, water heater bracing. Sellers must certify the water heater has been braced, anchored, or strapped to resist earthquake motion. This is because of California's earthquake risk. Fifth, pest inspection report. Though not required for all transactions, many buyers request pest inspection. If inspection finds problems, this becomes part of disclosure. Now let me tell you the consequences of not disclosing or improper disclosure, because this is very serious. According to California's Civil Code Section 1102.13, willful or negligent failure to disclose results in liability for actual damages. What does this mean? If buyers discover you concealed material defects, they can sue you. For incomplete TDS, buyer damages are typically limited to repair costs or replacement costs. Like you didn't disclose roof leak, fixing roof costs $10,000, buyers can demand you compensate $10,000. But for incomplete NHD, consequences are more serious. Buyer potential damages could be the entire property value. Why? Because if property is in high-risk hazard zone, buyers might not have bought at all. Buyers can sue with statute of limitations generally 3 years from the date buyers discovered or should have discovered the defect, according to California's Civil Code Section 338. If buyers can prove you intentionally concealed fraudulent misrepresentation, statute of limitations may extend. What relief can buyers demand? They can request price reduction, cancel sale, and recover purchase price, damages, even in some cases demand punitive damages. Disclosure timing requirements are also important. According to California law, TDS and NHD must be delivered to buyers before contract acceptance. This is most ideal. Many experienced agents prepare all disclosure documents before listing, posting them online for potential buyers to review. Doing this has several benefits. First, demonstrates good faith and transparency. Second, lets buyers understand property condition before making offers, reduces surprises. Third, speeds up transaction process. If disclosures are provided after offer acceptance, buyers have the right to cancel contract within a certain time after receiving disclosures. Specific time is, if personally delivered, buyers have 3 days to consider and can cancel. If delivered by mail or email, buyers have 5 days. During this time, buyers can unconditionally cancel contract. So best practice is providing disclosures as early as possible. Advice about filling disclosure forms. First, honesty is the best strategy. When in doubt, disclose. Over-disclosure is always better than under-disclosure. Second, don't leave blanks. If you don't know the answer, write "don't know," don't leave blank letting buyers guess. Third, provide details. If you check "yes" indicating a problem, explain specific situation in explanation section. Who is responsible for completing disclosures? Primary responsibility is sellers. But agents also have obligations. Seller's agent must conduct a reasonable, competent, diligent visual inspection, inspecting all physically or visually accessible areas, according to California Civil Code Section 2079.3. Then agent completes agent visual inspection disclosure. This is part of TDS. Agent inspects room by room, discloses material facts affecting property value or desirability. Buyer's agent also has obligation to conduct reasonable inspection. There are some exemption situations. Certain types of transactions don't require completing full TDS. First, probate sales. If seller is a state representative, not former owner or occupant, they may be exempt from TDS. But they still must disclose any known material defects. Second, trustee sales. If trustee has no personal knowledge of property condition, they may be exempt. But if trustee owned or occupied property in past year, cannot be exempt. Third, sales involving government entities. Fourth, foreclosures. Even if exempt from TDS, sellers still must disclose known material defects. This obligation cannot be waived. Let me give you some practical advice to protect yourself. First, consider doing pre-listing inspection. Hire a professional inspector to inspect your house, give you detailed report. This way you know what problems exist, can decide whether to repair or disclose. Pre-inspection benefits are you control information, can solve problems in advance, also can demonstrate transparency to buyers. Second, keep all receipts and records. If you've done repairs, updates, or handled problems, keep all documentation. These can prove you've solved problems, also can protect you in case of disputes. Third, don't try to hide. I've seen too many sellers want to cover small problems, ending up causing big trouble. Honesty is always the best strategy. Buyers will respect honesty, and honest disclosure can protect you from future legal liability. Fourth, if uncertain whether to disclose something, ask your agent or real estate attorney. Better to over-disclose than under-disclose. Fifth, use latest version of disclosure forms. Forms get updated, make sure you're using current version. Sixth, personally read and understand what you're signing. Don't just sign, know what you're certifying. Alright, let me summarize today's key points. First, California has strictest disclosure laws in the U.S. Sellers must disclose all known material facts affecting property value or desirability. Second, TDS transfer disclosure statement is required, covering property condition, systems, environmental hazards, remodels, etc. Sellers must personally complete. Third, NHD natural hazard disclosure is California unique, must disclose 6 disaster zone risks. Fourth, pre-1978 homes must disclose lead paint, this is federal law. Fifth, deaths within 3 years must be disclosed. Beyond 3 years, if asked, must answer honestly. Sixth, other disclosures include HOA, Mello-Roos, smoke detectors, water heater bracing, etc. Seventh, non-disclosure consequences are serious, may lead to lawsuits, damages, transaction cancellation. Eighth, disclosures should be provided before contract acceptance, earlier the better. Ninth, when in doubt, disclose. Over-disclosure always better than under-disclosure. 10th, consider pre-inspection, keep records, consult professionals. If you're selling in Sacramento and need help, I offer free consultation helping you understand disclosure obligations. Click description to schedule. Next video I'll discuss how to evaluate and choose buyer offers. If helpful, please like, subscribe. Comments tell me your disclosure questions. Remember, honest disclosure protects you and buyers. Thanks for watching.